In the 1960s, the US did an experiment where two people without nuclear training had to design a nuke with only access to publicly available documents. They succeeded. In ancient Egypt, the Egyptians shaved off their eyebrows to show grief from the death of their cat. License plates in the Canadian Northwest Territories are shaped like polar bears. The Okinawa Island in Japan has over 400 people living above the age of 100 and is known as the healthiest place on Earth. There was a golden-haired Tibetan Mastiff puppy which sold for 12 million yuan or $2 million, making it the most expensive dog in the world. Half the world has never made or received a phone call. A group of ravens is called an unkindness. Some estimates report that 1 in 8 babies are given to the wrong parents at some point during their hospital stay. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station see 15 sunrises and 15 sunsets a day, averaging one every 45 minutes, due to the station's proximity to the Earth and speed of its orbit. The longest street in the world is Yonge Street in Canada, which is 1,178 miles 1896 km. DC Comics published an alternate universe where Bruce Wayne dies instead of his parents. In it, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman and Martha Wayne goes crazy and becomes the Joker. A study conducted in 2011 by Angela Duckworth proved that IQ tests can be affected by motivation. By promising subjects monetary rewards, she found that the higher the reward, the higher they scored on the IQ test. There is a device known as a ventricular assist device or VAD that can permanently replace the function of your heart. The only side effect is you have no pulse. The biggest family in the world is from Baktong, India, where father Zionachana has 94 children by 39 different wives. The Hawaiian alphabet only has 12 letters. They are A, E, I, O, U, H, K, L, M, N, P, and W. The song Happy Birthday is 120 years old and has a copyright to it. It's owned by Warner Chappell Music and insists that no one use it, the reason you rarely hear it on TV, shows or movies. In California, on July 30, 2016, 42-year-old paratrooper Luke Akins became the first person to jump from an airplane without a parachute or wingsuit. He jumped 25,000 feet 7.620 meters to Earth, setting a world record for the highest jump. He landed safely in a 100 square foot 9 square meter net. That's about 1/3 the size of a football field. In 1930, the planet Pluto was named by an 11-year-old named Venetia Burney. She suggested the name Pluto to her grandfather, who in turn suggested it to a friend who happened to be an astronomy professor at Oxford University. He was also one of the leaders in the worldwide effort to produce an astrographic chart. In Dubai, there's a weight loss competition called Your Child in Gold. The campaign is aimed at early obesity, and winners get 90 pounds 40 kilograms in gold. Greek statues aren't actually white like we thought they were. Ultraviolet light has revealed that they were once originally brightly painted, but after thousands of years, the paints were a way to show the statues as we know them today. Jamaica, Colombia, and St. Lucia are the only countries in the world where a boss is more likely to be a woman than a man. Artist Susan Beatrice recycles old watch parts and turns them into intricate steampunk sculptures. There's a pepper grown in Japan, known as the shishito pepper. Only 1 out of every 10 is spicy, and there's no way to know which one beforehand. In 2010, musician Dave Grohl was admitted into a hospital due to a drug overdose. The drug was that he had actually consumed too much caffeine from coffee while recording a new album. In a real-world transaction involving Bitcoin, a man named Laszlo, a computer programmer, paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 large Papa John's pizzas. Only 4 years later, those same Bitcoin were worth $5.12 million. The average lead pencil will draw a line 35 miles long or write approximately 50,000 English words. More than 2 billion pencils are manufactured each year in the United States. If these were laid end to end, they would circle the world 9 times. An average American eats about the same amount of sugar in 5 days that the average American 200 years ago consumed all year. From the 8th century up until 1978, the Pope wore an ornate bejeweled 3-tiered crown solemnly placed on his head during his coronation. Modern popes have done away with the tradition. In 2012, the Smithsonian officially recognized video games as an art form and had an exhibit to comprehensively examine the evolution of video games as an artistic medium. Thomas Edison taught his second wife Morse code so that they could communicate in secret by tapping into each other's hands when her family was around. During the Cold War, the USSR officials were able to identify a forged Soviet passport from a genuine one just from its staples. The staples in the real passports used to corrode quickly due to the poor quality of the metal used. The deepest gold mine in North America is located in Quebec, Canada. The deepest shaft of the mine reaches over 2.48 miles 4 kilometers underground and is predicted to be able to access over 12.5 million ounces of gold. 70% of the land in England is still owned by 1% of the population, largely descended from William the Conqueror's army. The tumbling tumbleweed Collie tragus, a long-standing symbol of the lonely American West, is actually a foreign introduced species from Asia, commonly called Russian thistle. In 2010, blind hiker Bill Irwin completed the Appalachian Trail 2160 mile with the help of his seeing eye dog after falling 500 times. The White House used to be partially powered by solar panels starting in 1979, before they were taken down by the Reagan administration in 1986. A small number of prostitutes in Majengo, a slum in Nairobi, have shown immunity to AIDS. In the past 30 years, one prostitute named Agnes has had unprotected sex with approximately 2,000 infected men and still shows no signs of the disease. Dr. Gay Hitler, son of George Washington Hitler, was a local dentist in Circleville, Ohio, and served the community from 1922 through 1946. Many roads in the area still contain the word Hitler through this family. Nazi soldiers burned civilians alive in the town of Oradour-sur-Glane during WW2. Charles de Gaulle ordered that the ruins not be removed, and the empty town still exists as it was in June 1944. The word junkie originated in the 1920s when drug addicts stole scrap metal to fund their addiction. After the entire national Soviet hockey team was killed in an airplane crash in 1950, Stalin's son Vasily, the manager of the team, covered up the disaster and replaced everyone on the team to avoid his father's wrath. Stalin never noticed. In 2006, a woman filing for public assistance in the Washington state failed 4 DNA tests to prove maternity of her children. She was taken to court and risked losing custody. It was later discovered that she had absorbed her twin in the womb, and her reproductive organs carried different DNA to other parts of her body. There is a band called Non-Bieber VB Lek vs pronounced Nanocyborg Uber Holocaust originating from Antarctica. It was formed by 2 scientists who happened to have similar tastes in music. Their first album, The Ultimate Fate of the Universe, was recorded at the exact South Pole. Each year in the USA, about 200,000 people require hospitalization for head injury and 52,000 people died due to head injuries. In the USA, 1/3 of all adults complain about sleep problems. A giraffe has 7 vertebrae in its neck. This is the same number of neck bones as in people and most other mammals. Agenesis of the corpus callosum account is a birth defect in which the structure that connects the 2 hemispheres of the brain, the corpus callosum, is partially or completely absent. Normal vision for people is 20/20ths. A hawk's vision is equivalent to 20/5ths. This means the hawk can see from 20 feet what most people can see from 5 feet. 9 out of 10 people are right-handed, 8 out of 10 people are right-footed, 7 out of 10 people are right-eyed, and 6 out of 10 people are right-eared. Sharks have a fantastic sense of smell. Fish extracts with concentrations of only 1 part per 10 billion parts of water can alter a shark's behavior. Women metabolize caffeine about 25% faster than men. The vertebral column, the collection of bones backbone that houses the spinal cord, is approximately 70 centimeters long. Ammon's horn, an area of the hippocampus, was named after a character from Egyptian mythology who had a ram's head and large curved horns similar to the shape of the hippocampus. Neurophysiologist and Nobel Prize winner 1932 Edgar Douglas Adrian was an expert fencer and mountaineer. A Mickey Finn is a drink made with alcohol and chloral hydrate. This drink was developed in the 1870s by a group of tavern owners to make customers unconscious. Customers were robbed after they became unconscious.